Welcome to Project FeederWatch. Let's review some key steps to be sure you get the most out of your new venture. First, choose the count site you'll monitor for the FeederWatch season, which runs from early November through April. Feeder watcher Ann Hobbs keeps watch on an array of backyard feeders from her living room window.
The key to defining a FeederWatch count site is to be able to see everything from one location. So from wherever you're going to be counting inside your home, you want to be able to see all the boundaries of your FeederWatch count area and have your feeders within that count area. This really is a fantastic FeederWatch count site here. They're providing food, cover, and water for their birds. Cover in the form of evergreen trees and shrubs, and if you don't have evergreen trees and shrubs in your yard, a brush pile works wonders in providing protection against predators and the elements.
If you don't have a natural source of water nearby, a pond or a stream, the birds will appreciate a basin of water or a bird bath, though you may have to invest in a heater for it if you live in colder areas. You should never put chemicals in the water to keep it from freezing. Next, pick any 2 consecutive days to keep track of the birds on or around your feeders.
Okay, I think I'm going to choose the Friday and Saturday because they have to be next to each other, and those are 2 really easy days for me to choose.
You may decide to count on the same 2 days each week as Anne has done, or choose different days, as long as there is a gap of at least 5 days between your counts. It's best to schedule counts in advance and not start a count just because there are great birds in the yard that day. But don't worry if you have to miss a count now and then, that's okay. Now you're ready to start counting. But which birds do you count?
So the FeederWatch protocol requests that you count all of the birds that come inside your count area and are attracted by something that you provided, be it suet at a feeder, sunflower seeds, Niger seeds, or berries on a fruit-bearing shrub that may be in your yard. You do not want to count the birds that are simply flying over your count area, like a red-tailed hawk or a flock of geese that may be migrating overhead.
How you count is important too, because you don't want to be counting the same birds over and over again. The easiest way to keep track is to use the tally sheets that come with your research kit.
So when I'm counting birds, what I do is I take a look, and let's say there's 3 house finches at my feeder. I'll just mark down a 3 on my sheet. But if I look 10 minutes later and there's 5 house finches, then I cross that 3 off and I write 5. If a little bit later, all of a sudden the yard explodes with house finches and now there's 12 of them out there, then I don't count the 3 and I don't count the 5. I just count the 12.
Remember, you'll be reporting the highest number of each species seen at one time over the entire 2-day count period. And please do not add the numbers together. Also, keep track of the highest and lowest daytime temperatures, precipitation, and total time spent watching birds over the 2 days. It's important to have everyone counting the same way to make the data useful. Now it's time to report your tallies. Mail-in forms are available, but the fastest way to report is through the Project FeederWatch website. Click on the Data Entry tab at the top of the FeederWatch homepage. As a new participant, you'll create a profile with a login name and password, and then enter your ID number, which is printed on the letter in your research kit. When you get to the data entry page, identify your count site first. You'll only have to do this once. Then, when you enter your counts, you'll get a checklist for your region. In the box next to each bird's name, enter the highest number of that species you saw during your 2-day count period. You'll have a chance to review your report, and you can always go back and edit your report later if you realize you made a mistake. Every bit of information you provide is important.
Yeah, there's really no such thing as a boring count. We really want to know everything that people are seeing, even if they're not seeing any birds at all. If people only reported the great sightings that they had, we'd have a very biased view of how bird populations are actually doing.
If you're unsure about anything, call or email FeederWatch staff at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology or Bird Studies Canada. There are more tips on the FeederWatch website and in the instruction booklet in your research kit, such as how to count large or mixed flocks of birds and how to identify species that look nearly the same. On the website, you can also explore trends and see what other feeder watchers are reporting. If you're having trouble identifying a bird or see something unusual, feel free to email a digital image to the FeederWatch staff. Most of all, have fun watching the birds on your own or with friends and family. In addition to doing something you enjoy, you'll be providing valuable information for bird studies at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology and Bird Studies Canada. You are now a citizen scientist. For Project FeederWatch, I'm Pat Leonard at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology.